The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. Reaper Apparel offers a casual line of superb fit, finish, and comfort. We design for those who refuse to die slowly and choose to live untamed. For those who aren't afraid to face the dark, for the ones that thrive in it, and for those who can appreciate life through a grim lens. That's Reaper Apparel Company. Go to the link in the description of this episode, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Tactical Brotherhood, all American-made apparel, which helps support the Second Amendment. You can also find all this in the description of this episode with the link Tactical Brotherhood. Part of every proceed does go to helping veterans. It is a very good cause. All American-made products made right here in Minnesota. Go and check them out. Use the promo code PATRIOT15 to get 15% off your purchase. The Ride Home Rants podcast wants to thank you for listening and let everybody know that we do offer monthly subscriptions to help support the show in other ways other than listening and downloading each episode. What you will get with each subscription is you will get bonus episodes that aren't released to everybody. You will also have a chance to ask me anything each and every month where I will put out a special episode just to answer your questions. You will also get more exclusive content that is not released to everybody. To subscribe to the show, go and click on the link in the description of this episode, and I look forward to your added support and to help us keep this show going. The Ride Home Rants podcast is also brought to you by Buddy's Beard Care. Buddy's Beard Care provides premium men's grooming products at an affordable price. Products are made in Ohio, and Buddy's Beard Care supports local. The majority of our supplies are from other Ohio-based companies. You can find them on social media at Buddy's Beard Care or online at buddysbeardcare.com. Use the promo code BONO15 and he will save you 15%. I've been using these products for a little over 6 months now, and my beard has never felt healthier, it has never grown faster, and according to my wife, it has never felt softer. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by former guest of the show in Matt Landowski in Sweet Hands Sports. Elevate their game with Sweet Hands Sports. Our sports gloves are designed for champions, providing ultimate grip and durability. Achieve greatness with every match. Choose Sweet Hands Sports for the winning edge. Grip your victory at sweethandsports.com. Use the promo code BONO10 and he will save you 10%. He has sent me a complimentary pair of golf gloves. They are so comfortable, durable, and breathable. You won't find a better pair of gloves out there. Again, sweethandsports.com, promo code BONO10. Lastly, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Deemed Fit, a clothing company from first responders for first responders. These products are so comfortable. They look great. They have great messages on them. They are provided to support first responders, especially those who worked through COVID. All of the proceeds are going to helping veterans and first responders with their mental and physical health. This is a great cause. I support anything that has to do with our first responders and our veterans. Again, deemedfit.co, promo code Mike Bono will save you 20%. Now, let's start the show.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is your special guest host, Fiddy, and today I'm filling in for Mike Bono. Today we bring you an outstanding episode, and it's another roundtable, but a unique roundtable. We have a lot of great guests to talk about their journey here within this roundtable, and it is all things fitness and health related. So anybody who's looking to get in a new year in 2025, this episode is going to air in January. We're going to help you along, giving you some advice and talking our stories in the fitness and health realm. So we have a lot of great guests here. We're going to get through all of them, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves right now. So Jason, why don't you start for us?
Yeah, my name is Jason Bickle, 47 years old. I forget what the other things you want me to intro. Other than
favorite snack.
I think I got stumped on favorite snack. Shoot, pretty much anything. If I'm watching a football game, a little different. Maybe just some pretzels and good to go.
Okay. How about you, Shawn?
Shawn Dad, 51. And I guess we'll go with cookies, I guess.
Okay. How about you, Byron?
I'm Byron Mayers. I'm 27. And I would say my favorite snack, I'm going to have to go with Reese Cups.
Okay. JJ?
JJ Phillips, 42. And my favorite snack is probably about any type of dessert: cake, cookies, Snickers, cheesecake, apple pie, you name it. That's what I like.
Okay. How about you, Jordan?
Big chicken wing guy here, buddy. Any time of the day, don't really matter. You put a chicken wing in front of my face, it's going to get 8. I'm also 26 years old. So
Okay. And then not last but not least yet, but Nicole?
My name's Nicole Faith. I'm 36. I'm the only girl on the podcast tonight. So woo woo for the women. And I would say a charcuterie plate, like meat and cheeses and pickles and all those things.
Okay. And then Josh, how about you?
Josh Himes, 35 years old. Favorite snack is going to be a chomped deer jerky stick.
Okay. Well, for everybody that don't know me, I'm 38 years old, and my favorite snack is ice cream. So not a big snack person, but I will go in on some ice cream, as probably most people would. So everybody, we have a great panel for you to listen to today. All the guests are going to go in order, give their answers. We're going to have Jason go first, and then Shawn, Byron, JJ, Nicole, Jordan, and Josh in that sense. So first question I want to kind of start out with for all the guests. And Jason, we'll start with you. So how many days a week do you work out, and what type of fitness plan are you currently on? Jason, you're on mute too. Getting there. Okay.
Figure it out there. Well, actually, I have a 10-month-old baby at home right now. So my fitness routine has fallen apart completely for about the last year. If I can get 3 days in right now, that is fantastic. And it's pretty basic, full body type stuff. Every day, core, stretch, just really trying to hit the basics given how limited my time is at the moment, especially with the holidays and all.
Absolutely. How about you, Shawn?
I try to get there 5 to 6 days a week, typically one body part per day. And I'll mix in a secondary body part for maybe one lift at the end. And about 20 minutes of cardio each day with that, as much as possible. I've got to do a better job at the cardio.
How about you, Byron?
So it's actually funny. I'm kind of going to piggyback off of Jason's answer. I have recently a 2-month-old on top of 2 other kids. So it's been a little bit chaotic, but I also try to shoot for at least 3 days a week, full body cardio, like HIIT training if I can.
Okay. What about you, JJ? You always post your workouts online. So what do you got?
Usually I go about 4 days a week, and I do some sort of split usually. Like one day I'll do like chest, and another day I'll do like shoulders and tries, and I have like a leg day quad, like a quad specific leg day, and then I'll have like a back and body day with some hamstrings. And I do cardio at the end of every workout and try to do a core exercise at the end of every workout also.
Okay. Nicole, how about you?
I typically go about 5 days a week, focus on step counts every day if I'm not in the gym. So about 7 to 10K in steps daily. And then I cycle through, depending on like where I'm at in my training, different muscle groups. So one day's back, one day's buys, one day shoulders, and just kind of cycle through that, and then repeat the following week and just track like where I'm at.
Okay. Jordan, how about you?
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of everyone, I guess. Kind of run like a funky split. I train about 5 days a week right now. I kind of call my split is like a specialization split. I kind of pick, what are my 3 body parts that are lacking the most, which for me is my chest, my back, and my shoulders. So I'll give each of those their own day. And in between, let's say I do chest on Monday, the next day I will do a total body, where I'm picking one exercise per body group besides chest. And then the next following day would be the back day. And then same thing with the total body, where I'm hitting everything besides my back. just to kind of touch everything up. My legs have always been kind of my most dominant thing on my body, so I've kind of pushed that to the side, not to join the no leg day crowd. But it gets worked in on my total body days. And then cardio wise, I follow a step count. I'm a PE teacher, so luckily I'm pretty active, and especially at elementary school, I'm running around with the kids and stuff. So I try to get about 10K a day, which is fairly easy for me. So I don't really do any extra cardio at the gym.
Okay. And Josh, round us out on this one.
I'm going to piggyback off the first two guys or first two people said about kids. I just had my fourth baby, actually. So I have a 4-month-old, my fourth child. So I try to get it in when I can fit it in. I try to get that at least 30 minutes when I can, and I try to get about 4 days a week at minimum. So based on the typical science, and as long as I'm getting that 4 days a week, I'll at least maintain what I got, if not get a little better.
Okay.
And I mix it up.
Okay. And we're going to kind of get into the whole like life balance of everything too. I know a lot of people on here are very busy with stuff. So we're going to get into that a little bit later on the show, because we definitely want to hear about that. For myself, my workouts are a little bit different. I go about 4 days a week. What I've really honed in on, because and we'll talk about this later in the show, some injuries and wear and tear over life. I'm on 2-day full body circuits. I do a lot of body weight stuff and stuff with bands, and I do 2 days cardio. So I go my circuit training one day, cardio abs next day, usually 2 days off, circuit training, and then my cardio and abs after that. So that's kind of what I'm on right now. But I would definitely want to go to the next thing, and we're going to get into this too. I'm really curious about this with all of you guests. Talk to us about your food plan. People don't realize how important food is to your health with eating healthy. And eating healthy is different for a lot of people, but I would definitely want to get into this. So kind of talk to me about what you use as a plan, or not, and how do you balance your diet with working out? And I'm very curious to hear from all the parents on here of young children, how they do this. So Jason, can you kick us off on this one?
Yeah. When things are going well, I follow I don't know if anyone knows who Mike Dolce is. He's pretty, I think he's popular, I'm not sure, but I follow a lot of his programs. And he's all about just real food. I forget his exact saying, but it's like, if you can hunt it, pick it, plant it, fish it, you can eat it. If it's not in that category, you can't eat it. And to me, as long as you can keep the 95% of your meal in that structure, that's pretty error-free. So when I'm good, that's how I'm going, but gotta stay good.
And I know you posted about that before. I remember seeing your stuff on social media about that. So what about you, Shawn? What do you do?
I'm pretty routine. So morning would be oatmeal with a scoop of protein, egg whites, banana. Post-workout would be a protein shake. Sometimes it's 2 scoops, depending on if I'm trying to lean or if I'm trying to bulk. A lot of yogurt, a lot of cottage cheese. As a family, we eat a lot of chicken. But I am a big fast food guy. So don't let me fool you. There's a lot of fast food on the weekends. But the majority of my meals, similar to what Vic was saying, probably 90% of the time I'm eating pretty well, pretty clean. But I do mix in some fast food, more than I should. But yeah, for the most part, yogurt, egg whites, all the staples.
Okay. Byron, how about you?
Honestly, I'm probably a huge outlier amongst everybody. My diet is horrendous. I don't know why. I think partially because I'm still young, so I'm taking advantage of like my metabolism. I really don't follow a routine, but if I am trying to guide myself or stay within certain guidelines, I'm with the first two guys. I try to go after whole foods. So for me, a lot of eggs. I'm real big into red meat, fruits, vegetables. But again, like you kind of mentioned, it's a little bit harder with little ones and having a family. We're always on the go. So literally, I'm very fortunate. My wife is a little bit better health conscious than me, so she's making sure our dinners are hitting all the food groups, making sure that we have those veggies, having the meat, decent carbs are in there. And again, too, we're all human, so weekends we kind of splurge. I can probably pound a whole pint of ice cream, eat a dozen of cookies. Not saying that's obviously the best, but that's me on this one.
Okay, no, thanks for sharing that. JJ, how about you?
Yeah, my diet pretty much sucks. I mean, pizza, cookies, donuts. I mean, work is real bad with donuts. They always bring in donuts all the time. Fast food. Like, I really don't eat healthy at all. I mean, there was a time I did it for like 6 months and it was awesome, but I was like starving and I looked real good, but I was like angry all the time.
that happens. That definitely happens. Nicole, how about you? You're always posting the meals and stuff like that on Instagram for the people that follow you. They see that a lot. So what's your food plan?
Don't know me. I went through a weight loss journey back in 2021 and lost 40 pounds, and it all contributed to diet changes. And since then, what I've kept consistent to maintain those changes, again, it all comes back to diet. So if you really want to see the intensity of your workouts, if you're not following a diet plan or staying somewhat consistent with it, it's like driving your car with your foot on the brake. You just don't make any strides forward like you should. So what I've kept consistent, what I did then, the actual nutrition has changed slightly based upon actual calories themselves. So back then I was in a calorie deficit, but what has stayed consistent has been I ping my blood sugar levels every 2 to 3 hours. So I'm eating something every 2 to 3 hours. So this way my body's not starving and I'm not running on low energy or low fuel. But then I'm not overeating either when I do go to eat because I've naturally pinged it every couple of hours. So that stayed consistent throughout my whole entire journey. Hydration is really big. So hitting your water counts. I follow a high protein diet with a blend still of carbs and healthy fats in there. Carbs mostly coming from fruits and vegetables, and then healthy fats such as butters and your dressings and your nuts. But always high protein to preserve your muscle and build lean muscle as well.
Okay. No, thanks for sharing that. Jordan, how about you?
Like, I was being me, I was a former, college football player. Football ends, you look for something, kind of turned bodybuilder, competed for a little bit. So ever since I started doing bodybuilding 4 years ago, every day is kind of Groundhog Day for me, and I really don't get sick of it. I guess that's just from kind of being on a contest prep where you're eating the same thing every single day and it gets a little bit bland, and your macros change as you get closer to a show. But I mean, ever since, really competing and stuff, I don't have a problem. I don't want to sound like a jerk, but like, I don't have a problem eating the same foods every day. For me, if I want to mix it up, I'll switch my protein source or my carb source slightly if I need something different. But I mean, my day looks like I wake up, I have my shake, and then I'm eating 8 ounces of, I say flesh, some sort of protein from an animal, every 3 hours, I guess. So it kind of equals out to 5 meals a day, one being a shake, four meals being about 8 ounces of some sort of protein source. And then depending on what you're trying to do, if I'm in a building phase, I'll up the carbs pretty heavy. If I'm trying to lean down, I will, kind of time my carbs up around my training more and cut them out when I'm not training, around those times. So it fluctuates for me, right. But, I'm okay with Groundhog Day. I call it. I'm all right with that.
Okay.
I have a lot of craving. So I don't know if I want to have like a cheat meal, I call it more like a refeed. Like I'd rather cook my own burgers at home than go somewhere and get a burger. It kind of sounds weird, especially during hunting season. If I can get a deer and make venison burgers, like that's a cheat meal for me. I'll have 6 of those, no problem.
So a burger is a cheat meal for you?
Yeah, I mean, my problem is if I'm gonna eat, like I don't really have a sweet craving. I have a savory craving. Like I'm the type of guy where some people go eat tons of ice cream cookies. I'd rather put 6 double cheeseburgers in front of my face and I'll go.
Okay.
Save the ice cream, else, give me like the salty stuff. Like that's cool with me. If I really want to go crazy, that's what I'll do.
Okay. And how about you, Josh?
This will actually be my last question, so I'm going to go out with a bang on this one. So I have a lot of patients that I see. Obviously, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I'm a doctor. I have a practice in South Carolina, practice in Pittsburgh. And the way we kind of gauge that efficacy and see how diets are working, whether it's good or it's bad, I like to run lab work. So I like to see, okay, how is this diet working? You want to try a carnivore diet, a herbivore diet, a vegan diet. Doesn't matter what you want to try because there's so much proof of science on to back up every single diet plan you want to do. So I never try to sway a person one way or another. Whatever you want to do, I'm going to support that. And then we'll kind of gauge that efficacy again and how that works for you by checking all your levels, obviously. And then hard work works. So you got to work no matter what you do, no matter what your diet is. I try to keep it simple for people because America in life, it's complex. So I try to make it simplified where people can actually digest it and understand what it's going to be going forward and how we can see results faster and quicker without making them too overcomplicated. So I always tell people in a simplified matter, like a gazelle eats, smaller, more frequent meals where you're constantly grazing, you're just constantly burning and churning. You're working food down an elementary canal and just keeping that basal metabolic temperature picked up. You're working it. If the good Lord made it, you can eat it.
Okay. That's probably the best answer that I've ever heard. The good Lord makes it, you can eat it. And it goes back to like Jordan saying flesh meals and Jason saying hunt it, pick it, kill it, and all that, all that stuff. So, thanks for really giving that insight on that. So greatly appreciated on that.
Thank you guys.
Man.
Take care. Have a good show. God bless.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for hopping on. So we're going to go to the next one here. Most, if not all of you are former high school or college athletes. How have your workouts changed since your athletic days ended? And Jason, before you answer, I just want to point this out. So Dr. Josh Himes that was just on, he's a great guy. He's a former pro boxer. So he is awesome in the medical field. If people want to follow him, you can find him on Instagram as Dr. Josh Himes, JOSHHIMES. So definitely give him a follow. He likes to come on, even though with the kids, sometimes he has to jump off. So, but going back to this, about being a former athlete and, have your workouts changed, and we're all at different ages and stages. So Jason, can you kind of give some insight on this?
I don't know if they really changed a lot over the years, other than just cycling through different ideas and styles, but keep coming back to the same bread and butter. I think like when you're young, I'm 47, so a lot of the information came out of like Men's Health magazines and all that stuff in the 90s, and they were all pretty much arm day, chest day, back day, all that kind of thing, and that was what we all did. And then you just try different things over the years, but I think it always keeps coming back to basic good lifting, chest day kind of stuff, back day kind of thing, and yeah, it just kind of keeps rotating through that in and out of life.
Okay. How about you, Shawn?
Yeah, similar to what Jason was saying, being the oldest guy in the group, when I was lifting some time ago, it's pretty similar to what I'm doing now. I do see a big difference in what my players are doing now, what the athletes are doing today compared to when I was an athlete. More explosive movements, more flexibility, mobility, that type of thing. Like similar to what Jason was saying, when I was younger playing, and like now it's chest day, it's back day. Our players don't really go through that. So I see a bigger change from our players and what they do compared to what I did back when I played back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that. How about you, Byron?
Yeah, no, it's kind of when I first started in high school, I think, kind of like what Shawn was saying, we didn't really have a traditional strength conditioning program where we're doing those explosive movements, the full body stuff. Ours was more of a bodybuilding template. So we were kind of just real big meatheads in that aspect. Wasn't until I got to college where I was introduced to those explosive movement, templates, supersetting stuff to kind of all mesh together. But then once I got out of college, I graduated. I dabbled with CrossFit for a little bit. I drank that Kool-Aid for about 2.5 years. And then honestly, kind of learning from there, I liked some of the philosophy that it had. So I still kind of use a lot of that methodology that CrossFit offered to kind of support my training and my lifestyle right now.
Okay. No, thanks for sharing that. JJ, how about you?
Yeah, it's probably pretty much like similar to high school, like more, I guess, bodybuilding wise, like squat, bench, deadlift, and throw in other exercises in between those things, pull up and stuff like that. So really hasn't changed too much for me, but I'm a lot stronger than I was when I was younger.
Well, that's a good thing. So how about you, Nicole?
I played collegiate volleyball, and when I was playing the sport, I couldn't stand lifting. Like, I hated it. Like, this is not for women. I don't want to look bulky. Now switching gears, getting out of the sport, which I still watch but don't play anymore, I actually found a love and passion for lifting, especially after losing the weight. Now that I've brought the muscle layer closer to the skin, being able to scalp that and just really see the whole structure and just chisel at your anatomy. I love lifting weights. I think it's a matter of you've got to find what you're passionate about, and then you'll continue to show up for it. It doesn't really matter too much what you're physically doing, just do something. Showing up 5 minutes a day is better than not showing up at all. And whatever works for your schedule, whatever you're passionate about, you'll continue to show up for. So personally, through my journey, that's what I found to be what I continue to want to do. So for the other women out there, I think just find what intrigues you, what you can show up for, whether that's cycling, aerobics, whatever it might be, and just continue to do it because it's better than doing nothing at all.
Absolutely. Jordan, how about you?
Yeah. I mean, I really like what Nicole said there. Being a college football player, you know, I'm on the younger side, I guess, and I was exposed to the more explosive movements, explosive workouts, mobility, working your muscles really in the stretch position and then exploding from there, which was, you know, all of my football, you know, lifts pretty much in high school and then into college. And then getting into bodybuilding, I know it did change for me a lot. You know, you're looking at it from a different perspective. You know, you're trying to accomplish two different things with those. So really trying to do certain exercises, certain workouts with certain rep schemes, the more put on muscle size rather than just focusing on pure brute strength and explosiveness. And I've came to love these workouts much more than football workouts. But I really like what Nicole said there. I think even when I used to personal train people, you got to find what works for you. And sometimes with today and all the science behind stuff, you get caught up like looking for what's the best split I can do? What's the best exercise I can do? And you're always like searching for this pot of gold that doesn't really exist because each person's a little bit different. And what she said about motivation, like you got to find what you like to do. And if you're a body split person where you like to go in and hammer a chest day, hammer a back day, hammer an arm day, go do that because you will show up every single time. If you're doing something you're not sure of and you're like, man, they say this works, but I don't necessarily love it. You know, at this stage in your life, you're probably not going to show up consistently. So that's my take.
Yeah, absolutely. And for everybody that doesn't know, actually, Jordan and Byron played for me when I was an assistant coach at the college level. And it's, you know, great to see them, you know, now as adults and married, and Jordan soon to be married, and, you know, dads and stuff. So, you know, it's great to see who they were as these young people and then now see them as adults and doing all these great things and then, you know, still being involved in the fitness realm. You know, for myself, you know, I have degenerative arthritis in my back. I have arthritis in my hands. I have busted up fingers and, you know, all the perks of playing college football. So my workouts have really had to change. You know, I can't squat anymore. So I do a lot of, you know, body weight squats. I do sumo squats. I can't barbell squat anymore. Can't hang clean. You know, I just can't do power movements. Can't run no more. Just my back flares up and my legs bother me. So again, it's like what Nicole said, though. You got to find what works for you. And that's going to be a lot of trial and error too, depending on, you know, your body and what you've dealt with. And if you can go bang out heavy weights and you can squat and you can bench and you can do all these great things and later on in life, that's great. But I'm sure at some point you're going to hit a wall on that. So all I would just tell people is be careful, because what you don't want to do is get hurt for the long run. And then you really can't, you know, go do stuff. So whatever your jam is working out wise, just embrace it. And if your workout is going chopping down trees and doing yard work and cutting grass and all that stuff, just love that too, because that's a heck of a workout itself. And for anybody that doesn't do yard work, go do yard work. It's a pretty good workout. I think anybody who owns a house can attest to that. So one of the next things I want to talk about with you guys is, you know, what type of gym do you train in? Whether that's, you know, name brand one or, you know, that's everybody will know, or a small gym where you're at, or if do you have a gym at home? So I know talking to most of you where you all train out from before, but why don't you go ahead and tell the guests, Jason, or tell the other guests and stuff.
For most of my adult life, it was Titans Gym in Menor. That's like one of those big old meathead grungy gyms. It has every piece of equipment you can think of. It's one of those. I mean, the square footage. It's a huge gym. I can't even guess that square footage, but it's loaded with equipment, loaded with serious lifters. I think my strength is pretty good, but in that gym, I'm like mid-level. Like it's that kind of place where you gotta like you compete. It's cool.
Gotcha. How about you, Shawn?
I'll do a little bit at school with the football guys. If it's empty, I'll sneak up there on a day like a Sunday. That way I have the whole place to myself. But for the most part, Planet Fitness, it's convenient, close, has everything I need at this stage of the game. So, yep, I can get in, get out. Works for me.
Absolutely. Byron?
I would say the last couple years I was, again, training at CrossFit. So if I was on the road, I was finding different CrossFit gyms to just drop in, train at. But now I am a teacher, so I've been training at my school facilities. Basically anywhere I can get my hands on maybe a couple dumbbells on a pull-up bar, and I'll make the most out of it.
Absolutely. JJ?
Well, I started out at Planet Fitness, and then I left there, went to like a meathead slash they had like more normal people too, gym, Onyx and Niles. And then Planet Fitness over in Austintown got like free weights and the deadlift platforms and all that stuff, squat racks. So I went back to Planet. So I'm currently training at Planet Fitness again.
And for anybody that doesn't know, check out like online at the Austintown Planet Fitness. That gym got it going on. I will tell you that from the stuff JJ posts. It ain't like the one in Willowick, that's for sure. It ain't like the one in Menor. I mean, it's just like I'm like, what is this gym? And I messaged JJ and he's like, man, it's Planet Fitness, bro. I'm like, what? I'm like, when did they get platforms for deadlifting and stuff? He's like, it's Austintown. I'm like, well, Austintown got it going on, I guess. So how about you, Nicole?
For me, I work out at Lifetime Fitness here in Columbus. It's more of like a fitness club. A big part of my journey and what's kept me going is the environment. I think it really plays a huge role and benefit on where you surround yourself with. So when I started working out there, majority of the people were better with their health and their fitness than I was. So it elevated me to want to become and aspire to be them. So I think that helped really drive my fitness journey, and it keeps me motivated to like not falter. So I do want to encourage people, where you surround yourself, what community you're a part of plays a big deal on really where you'll go with this thing.
Absolutely. How about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I kind of liked how some of you gave like where you started out at and where you're at. So I'm going to do that real quick. Like when I first started working out, we had a unbelievable basement gym. My dad put it together. We had a full dumbbell rack that went up to 60s. We had a super nice Smith machine, a universal that was like the smoothest universal ever, a bench press. So starting out there was like in the home gym was real cool. I'm talking real young. And what Nicole just said about being around people who are, maybe a little step up from you. My brother, who's older than me, could bench press 205 pounds when he was 12 years old. So like I was never close to that, but I always had to chase that. And, my dad being the alpha male he is, like pushing us every day to do that, always inspired me to be better. And then going from there, let's fast forward to Bethany. Whenever I went to Bethany College, I used to go out and train out in Wintersville at Rocky Road Gym. I don't know if anyone knows about that gym in Steubenville. It's a hardcore powerlifting bodybuilding gym. We're in the garage. It's freaking cold in there in the winter. So I trained there for a while. And then currently out here in Pittsburgh, I live in the South Hills. I train at a 24/7 gym called Bell Vernon Fitness 24/7, little local gym. So shout out to them. They do a good job here. And it's a mixture of meatheads and other, meatheads and people just going there for their everyday fitness.
Absolutely. I used to see Jordan though at the Steubenville Planet Fitness way back in the day during COVID.
Did. You know what? That was Michaela, my fiance. She had the black pass at the time. I don't even know if they still do that, where you go for free. I had no idea about the area. Like, there's this little gym by my house in the garage, and I went and checked that out, and I was like, okay, this is the environment I need to be in right here.
I work out at Planet Fitness. I've done that for a long time now, and you know what? I can't beat the black card, because when I have to travel for events or work or weddings or whatever, I've worked out at Planet Fitnesses in White Marsh, Maryland, Hagerstown, Maryland, Erie, Willowick, Menor. I've been to Hermitage. I've been to Boardman. I've been to one in Mishawaka, Indiana. I've been the one in Michigan, up by Ann Arbor. So I've been the one in Pittsburgh as well, at Steubenville. So I've kind of been all over. I mean, that's what fits me the best, just because, also being on the move and stuff. So, but yeah, you definitely got to find your gym, and you gotta rock what's best for you. So, the next thing I want to ask, and Jason, we'll start with you on this. What is the one aspect of fitness and working out do you think most people often overlook or overshadow that you think is the most important to health?
I think Nicole touched on it right in the beginning, talking about nutrition. If your nutrition is not in line, I mean, that a lot of my adult life was kind of in that. I thought I could outwork a below average diet, bad diet, and it's just really not. It might work for you a little bit, especially when you're young, but the older you get, it's not going to fly, and you're gonna not only appearance, but the way you feel, the way your joints feel, the way your body just operates. If you're not drinking enough water, if you're not eating the right foods, if all that's not lined up, you're going to be spinning your wheels.
Gotcha. How about you, Shawn? What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. Nutrition, probably number one. I see it for myself personally and with our players. They can lift and lift and lift, but if they're not eating the proper things, they're not going to get the benefits and the results that they're looking for. And I think a second thing, and something that, and Jason, I don't know if everybody on here knows, Jason is on my staff. He's my defensive coordinator. And so we coach together. And so one of the things that we really work on with our guys too is mind-muscle connection. I think that's something that we really try to work hard with our guys younger. Is something I didn't understand as a younger guy. I didn't try to really develop or really start to develop till a bit later on, but getting that mind-muscle connection and make sure you're feeling it in the right spots and really connecting with what it is that you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. Byron, how about you? You're one of the younger guys here, and former college athlete and, current coach as well. What would you say to this?
I would say the biggest thing people overlook is consistency. I feel like no matter what phase of life that you're doing your fitness journey is, a lot of people oversee it, especially if you're new to it. You think it's going to happen right away. When people hit that plateau, they're just kind of get defeated. They don't see the big picture and things. And I know my two fellow coaches, they probably know they have a couple guys that might be inconsistent, and you're just like, man, if this guy would just fully devote their time, they would skyrocket. And that consistency goes with everything, your nutrition, your weight training. It makes a big impact, but also it's a double-edged sword. So the more that you are consistently, eating terrible or not doing anything, you see that impact that way. So it can go either way.
Okay. How about you, JJ?
I'm thinking like mind-muscle connection, like just making sure you're hitting the right a lot of areas you're trying to work, and just not like a lot of people like ego lifting or just pulling the weight around, or you're not doing yourself any good. So mind-muscle connection is big.
Absolutely. How about you, Nicole?
I have a blend of kind of everything that everybody said so far. Above all, nutrition. That's the key contributor to really your success, internally and externally. How you feel, how you sleep, your biofeedback, your bowel movements, all of it. Abs are made in the kitchen. So above all, nutrition's number one. Number two is really being intentional. What I've seen be the game changer is it's not really how much weight you can lift, it's how you lift it. How are you gripping it? Really, if you put like a lot of intensity into your actual grip strength and move the weight, you're going to get a better lift. It doesn't have to be like over the top weight, and you don't have to PR every time. So again, being intentional with it. And then three, your mindset. your mind controls it all, and how you speak to yourself really matters. Like, for example, we're going into the holidays. So your holiday doesn't have to turn into a whole a month. You can have a day. You don't have to slice all the tires and let one day turn into a whole entire month. So I think those are like the main three. Again, nutrition, be intentional, and give yourself positivity.
Absolutely.
What
And
about a whole year?
a whole year? I mean,
I've been there. I've been there. You got to pull yourself out eventually.
Absolutely. And, Jordan, you another young guy on here, and, former college player, and, current coach as well and stuff. So what would you say about this?
Nicole just hit everything pretty much on the head, but one that no one's mentioned, and as a coach myself, I bet the other coaches will agree. How about injury prevention? I think we don't take into account, no matter what age you're at, whether you're playing a sport or not, the injury prevention of it. If you are lifting weights properly, correctly, you are going to prevent yourself from injuries. When you age, you are going to feel better when you age. You're going to be able to squat down and pick that up. You're going to be able to bend over and get that. When you're playing ball, when you're playing football, I mean, I used to think whenever I lifted in high school, our main goal was to get big and strong to prevent ourselves from injuries. You wanted that thick neck to prevent you from taking hits. You wanted to have the big, thick legs. You wanted to have those things just to protect yourself. So I think injury prevention and overall quality of health from lifting weights is something that the kids need to look at and go, man, I'm doing this for a reason. Because some of them, I remember even me, I don't think it really resonated with me that I wanted to be in shape and look a certain way till maybe like my sophomore, junior year of high school. Before that, it was, you didn't realize why you were doing it. And then it kind of resonates with you. You're looking a certain way, but then also, I'm doing this to make myself a better football player. I'm doing this to prevent myself from injuries. I can't be on the field if I'm injured. And that was always a big thing for me, is I always just felt better when I was lifting quality weights and the right way.
Absolutely. I think the one thing for me, and I'll kind of go a little bit different tracker, but first thing I would say is you got to drink water, right? You got to drink water. You got to drink a lot of water to keep yourself regulated. Second thing is flexibility. You got to stretch. Like, I think that is the key to injury prevention, to, being healthy later on in life, like stretching. You got to stretch before you work out. Some people like to stretch after, that's fine, but you got to stretch. You got to do total body stretching. I mean, back, legs, hamstrings, calves, upper body, neck, everything. I think if you stretch, that definitely helps with the longevity. So the next one here, kind of give everybody's take here, because I'm always curious on this, because we all live busy lives. So are you a workout person in the morning or in the afternoon or the evening? When you can. I know there's a lot of parents on here and you have to try to fit it in, but in the best way possible, if in the perfect scenario, are you early morning, are you afternoon, or are you evening? Jason?
Yeah, 100% evening. I'm too damn hurt to do it in the morning.
Okay. How about you, Shawn?
Early morning. I try to get there. 5:30 is the goal.
Okay. How about you, Byron?
If I had to pick early morning, I like to just get in, set the tone for the day, and then have the rest to spend with the wife and the kids.
Okay. JJ?
Yeah, definitely early morning, get it done before work, so you have the rest of the day after work to do with the kids and what the wife wants you to do and all that. Early mornings usually about 3:00 for me.
Yeah, I was saying, if nobody don't follow JJ on social media, my man's in the gym at like 3:13 in the morning, and I'm like, and I get up at like 4:30. My man's already getting a workout, and I'm looking at my phone like, wow, this dude's already doing deadlifts. It's like 3:27. How are you doing this right now? But hey, kudos to that. So
it's good. Nobody's there to fight with you for equipment either. It's great.
You know what? That's great. So how about you, Nicole?
For me, I like to get my bearings first thing in the morning. I am not the morning person workout. And then I like to get through some of my work for the day and then go into the gym and lift some weights after what I just had to deal with. So usually it's about like 3:00 for me after the lunch rush, but before people get off work rush. So I'm like that gap there. It's like a sweet spot.
Okay. How about you, Jordan?
Some of you are savages. JJ, 3 a.m. God bless. Listen, were you morning workout people? I respect you. There's nothing but respect there. From lifting in college at 5 a.m., I just I don't have the desire to get up that early and do that anymore. I'm like Nicole. I like to get up. I like to have my coffee. In a perfect world, I'd have breakfast, then go to the gym. Being a teacher, I like to go after a long day with the kiddos. I like to go to the gym right after, de-stress and get it going. During football, I'm probably on the Bickle train here. Right, I'll go after practice at 7:00, which is psycho after a long day. But I'll go after practice from 7 to 8:30, get home at 9, do it all again. So football season that's a grind, and you guys know that. But it'd probably be more beneficial for me to do in the morning. I can't do it with low food, man. I gotta have enough food in me to get after it. You're a savage, JJ.
You know what? I'm a morning guy. I usually get between about 4 and 4:30 every day, and then I got my routine in the morning. So I hit the gym about 6:15 to about 7:20. Usually, then I come back and leave. I don't have to leave for work usually till 8:15. So I have a little bit more time for myself in there. So one of the next ones, it's just a yes or no for everybody. Do you listen to music when you work out? So Jason?
Yes.
Okay. Shawn?
Yes.
All right. Byron?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. JJ?
Yep.
Okay. Nicole?
If you don't, something's wrong with you.
Right.
Jordan?
I'll be the sometimes.
Okay. I listen to no music at the gym. It's like a pet peeve of mine. I don't listen to music at all. I'm just in there in my mindset, doing my sets between my break. I'm thinking about what the other stuff I have to do. So no, music distracts me from
walking around talking to people.
I don't even talk to people. You know what? I put my hood up like this.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever talked to one person at the gym, and I've been going to that gym for like 3 years. So I think I just give like one of these. So yeah, I just, Planet Fitness got their mix going on. So that's about all the music for me. But I get in and I get out. I want no distractions. I just want to focus on what I'm doing with that. So one of the next things I want to talk to you about here is we're finishing up some of the topics here. But what is the one food you can name, and it can be anything, that more people should eat? Jason?
Steak.
Okay. Shawn, what do you think?
Eggs.
Okay. Byron?
Man, it sucks going third. They took both my answers. I was gonna.
That's all right. It's all right. You can say it.
And then I was like, I'll go with eggs, but it's definitely between those two.
Okay. JJ?
Chicken.
Okay. How about you, Nicole?
Definitely the protein. Any of the sorts that everybody just said, meatless or meat option.
Okay. Jordan?
A quality red meat, preferably deer.
Okay. I would say more fruit. Definitely eat fruit. Apples. Apples are great. Apples just give you enough caffeine and like a sugar that a cup of coffee would. So apples are great in the morning. I throw some peanut butter on there too. So one of the other things I want to see what your guys take is on this is what's your go-to cardio? If you had to pick like what your go-to cardio mostly consists of, what would you say? Jason?
I used to love trail running. Metro Parks over here, miles and miles in there. That's a good time.
Okay. How about you, Shawn?
Just treadmill at an incline at about 3.5 miles per hour.
Okay. How about you, Byron?
So I think that's one of the reasons why I got into CrossFit was because I wasn't doing cardio. So learning how to, structure my workouts to make it, more impactful, hitting those zone 2 area. So big thing for me is I like using the jump rope. So getting like double unders in, hitting like dumbbell snatches with that, different rep schemes. So a little bit of a mosh posh.
Okay. How about you, JJ?
Treadmill on the incline and also hitting the heavy bag.
For sure. How about you, Nicole?
Honestly, just steps. I mean, just getting your step count at least 10,000 a day. It's going to help in a low low endurance fashion, but also help with longevity of life, cardiovascular health, fighting off disease. Anybody can do it. So I would say, that's a part of cardio as well in a roundabout way. So hit your step count.
Okay, for sure. What would you say, Jordan?
Yeah, going off the steps, I don't do a whole lot of cardio besides getting my steps in. But someone said get on the trails. I live in West Newton, a small little town, that we have the trail that goes from Pittsburgh all the way to Cumberland, Maryland. So having that trail right by me, I like going outdoors and getting my steps and getting out in nature. That's my favorite way of getting my cardio in.
Absolutely. For myself, if I had to pick something in the gym, I love the Stairmaster. I'll do about the Taj Mahal 69 stories. I'll do that in about 16 minutes, usually at about like a 7 to like 9. I guess everyone to say the frequency on it or the hardness of it. If I'm picking outside, I'm going for walks. I'll walk outside as much as I can, unless it's raining or, it's really, really bad with the snow. But, I got like these Rocky Balboa boots from like Rocky IV when he was running through Russia. So if I have to get out in the snow and, truck through the neighborhood in them, I will. But as long as it ain't raining or terrible snow or below 20, I'll go walk. I walked, for 30 minutes this morning. It was, 35 degrees. So as long as I can get that in, I'm good with it. So
you're on the step mill with no music. So you're a psycho. That's terrible. It sounds like torture.
Well, thank you. I get on it. You know what? I just watch the TVs with no volume, and I'm just imagining what they're saying. So, because Planet Fitness got no volume on nothing. Shawn can back me up on that. True. So, you're just doing it. I'm just on it, walking. Doing my 69 stories of it, and it's just no music, just nothing. My hood up, not paying attention to anybody. So, one of the next things I want to talk about is we see a lot of people in the sports realm, in the Hollywood realm, in the political realm, whatever it may be, that are really big into fitness. So who would you say is like one person out of all of that, famous person, whoever you want it to be, whether it's Arnold Schwarzenegger or whoever it is, who's that one person that really impressed you or impresses you still with their level of dedication to working out? So this probably give you a minute to probably think about here. So I'm going to answer it. There's two people for me. One was Tom Brady, for what he was able to do for such a long period of time, especially getting in from weightlifting and the resistance bands and footwork movement and things like that, and playing at such a high level for so long, based off of his workouts, I think was incredible. And the second person is because also the guy's like 71 years old and was jacked on, I think it was like Venice Beach, working out at Gold's Gym. Even though he's a little bit out there with his thoughts, is RFK Jr. That dude is definitely in tremendous shape, and like looking up what his workouts are and what he can do in his 70s still is pretty impressive. So just two people to kind of stand out to me on that. But Jason, what about you?
I said everyone really stands out now. Everyone's like, there's so many people really in great shape. But when I was a young guy, the very first person I ever saw that made me want to work out was Bruce Smith on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He was just standing there kind of flexing. His arms were huge, and then the inside you could see he was wearing shorts and his quads were just massive. And I was like, holy crap, I'd like to look like that one day. That's kind of the thing that made me get after it when I was 8th grade, whatever it was.
Okay. How about you, Coach Dodd? Who do you think, is that person that stands out to you now as like a model of fitness and that, you admired or still admire?
Jason Bickle. Actually, kind of like you said with like Tom Brady. So any athlete that can have those types of careers, those longer careers than people expect and longer than average, the Jerry Rice's, the work ethic, the things that they do as they get older, that has always impressed me. And then actor wise, I don't know who the guy is. Whoever plays Reacher. I don't think I've seen that show, but my God, that guy's just massive.
That is a big dude.
There's just guys in life. Came out of nowhere, and I was watching that show, and I was like, "Holy crap, that dude's just massive."
That is a big dude. Actually, funny thing about him, and I forget his name in real life. For anybody who's ever watched the show Reacher, the guy is a super
Yeah.
badass in that, and he's great. But he actually is a singer as well, and you can find him on YouTube. He actually sings this song called Mojito about the drink mojitos. It is actually hilarious. So I encourage everyone to look up that guy from Reacher, sing the song Mojito. It is like the funniest thing ever. So thanks, Coach Dodd, for saying that, because it actually made me think of the song Mojito by him. So how about you, Byron?
So I'm gonna kind of piggyback off you. The actor, his name's like Alan, like Richardson or something like that. But he played in a show way back when called Blue Mountain State, and he was like this big dumb middle linebacker, and he loved mojitos. That was his go-to drink. So I'm glad to see he's still carrying that on. But my actual answer, I would say one guy that kind of, really inspired me. I hung out with like a lot of like bodybuilders growing up, so they kind of put me on. Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie just enjoying the leg days. I really embraced that. Just his little quotes he would say while he was in the gym. He really showed that, if you're grinding, it can still be fun. If you really enjoy it, you have that passion. So he was one of my go-tos. And then my spirit animal, if I'm giving a second one, is my man, Ocho Cinco. My man, I don't know how he's, like one of the 1% that's a freak athlete, but eats McDonald's and smokes cigars. Obviously, he's an outlier to all of this, but I don't know. It's just impressive to me. Not saying that I agree with his methods by any means, but I don't know. That man's different.
Absolutely. How about you, JJ?
Lightweight, baby. Ronnie Coleman. I mean, he's the GOAT. And then we got Sylvester Stallone. I mean, growing up watching the Rocky movies and seeing the training montages, I mean, how could you not want to go work out? And then have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, we all know he's probably on the juice, but I mean, he at his age to look like that, I mean, it's great.
I watched, and probably everyone's seen it. I watched Pain and Gain the other day, and nobody can't tell me that him and Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Mackie weren't on steroids in that, because those dudes were freakishly
jacked.
big in that. They were like way bigger than even what they are now. I mean, like their triceps went into their their traps went into their neck, and their biceps were just bulging. Those guys were on the juice for that. I will say that, but it's a great movie, and it was really awesome. So, Nicole, what about you?
All right, boys, mark it down because you've said all guys so far. Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. She is a beast. She also wrote the book Forever Strong, where she talks about aging well. She's a mom and just pure solid muscle. She talks through her book why protein's so important as we age, how we lose muscle with every year from the moment we hit 30, and why eating protein is so essential, and why lifting and how to lift is so important too. So mark it down, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, Forever Strong. Look into it and then tell me what you think.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Okay.
What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, even though I'm probably one of the youngest ones on here, I grew up like an 80s kid just from my dad shoveling things down my throat to watch. But I'm so thankful for it. I mean, I grew up watching Rocky every day, every single day, just taking the VHS out, rewinding it, restarting it, fast forwarding to the fight, fast forwarding to the training montages, all that stuff. Like that was my childhood. I still get goosebumps when I watch it. I love it to death. So Stallone was a huge motivating factor from even when I was real young and we had the basement gym. And then eventually, my dad making me watch Pumping Iron and seeing Arnold back in the day. I think that's kind of like not only, just him being jacked, but his kind of outlook on training and how it was more like he loved the lifestyle of it back then. And it was a simple life. It was go to the gym, get a great exercise. You're going to feel great after. Go get some sun on the beach, eat some good food, wake up the next day and do it. Like I'm a pretty simple man, and seeing him live that lifestyle kind of motivated me to live that similar lifestyle, and how that's kind of all I need in this life. But those two guys, especially being the action superstars they were, very, very motivating from a young age.
Absolutely. No, thank you all for sharing that. And I was thinking this and nobody said it. And when Coach Dodd was on in the summer, he talked about his personality being a little bit type A. And I'm like that too, Coach. Believe me, my wife says it all the time about me. But you want to talk about a type A person who is like super disciplined in what they do, though, too. If you look at his daily schedule, it is Mark Wahlberg. And what he gets up at 2:30 in the morning. So JJ, you got some competition there.
Oh man.
To go hit the gym. So if no one's ever seen what Mark Wahlberg does in a day with his workouts as well, I would highly encourage looking that up. So as we get to the end of the episode here, there's one thing I want to ask all of you, and definitely give as long as you want or as short as you want with this. And as this episode airs in 2025 and people are starting the new year off with new goals and new aspirations in their health and fitness journey, is what advice would you give someone who wants to get healthy? And it could be anything, food or, working out, whatever it may be. So I'll start with this. Let everybody think about it. Is just find your niche and what fits you best. Just make sure you're incorporating, drinking water, getting enough sleep, and stretching. But find whatever it is that works for you, and just rock it out and be in it to win it for yourself. Because nobody is going to outwork you like what you think you can do for yourself. So that's the best advice I can give. So Jason, how about you?
Find something you really like to do. Don't think you have to jam your goals into one particular avenue. It doesn't have to be all in the weight room. There are a lot of people that are in fantastic shape and all they do is yoga or power walk and cardio, that kind of thing. Resistance training is great, but there's a lot of different ways to have resistance training. It doesn't all have to be on the on the bench or anything. So find the avenue that works for you and just stay moving.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. How about you, Shawn?
I think the biggest thing is you just start. Just begin something and then just don't stop. And if it means switching things up, so if you want to go from yoga to powerlifting, then do that until you find your niche. But I think there's a lot of people that sit back because they're afraid because they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They don't know how to begin. They don't know what avenues to take. Just start and learn it as you go. Don't wait and try to figure it out or sit back and wait to become an expert. Just get the journey beginning and then just take it from there.
Absolutely. How about you, Byron?
I would say my biggest piece of advice is have a plan. I think a lot of people, try to take a lot of things in. I would find a plan and make sure it's just dialed in. Set goals. I'm a big goal-oriented person. So, on Monday, you have to hit X, Y, and Z. And I'm kind of like my wife a little bit, pen and paper. So physically marking off your goal, showing yourself that reward, getting that positive reinforcement there, and just keep doing it day in and day out.
Absolutely. How about you, JJ?
Just showing up is the first step of getting there. Just showing up, doing what you need to do, and just holding yourself accountable. Basically, like if you're doing it for other reasons, other people, other things, like you have to be wanting to do it for yourself, or it'll never last. So just, show up, just do the work and work hard, find out what works for you.
Absolutely. How about you, Nicole?
I think it's all a matter of consistency. We can be consistent for, either the good or the bad. And obviously, trying to be consistent for the positive. I do recommend, figure out how much time you can commit and be realistic with that. Like if you can only show up for 3 days is better than 0. So start at that because you can always build and then get it in the schedule. So what you get scheduled on your calendar gets prioritized. Pencil it, just like you pencil a function or a date or something, get your workouts in your schedule. Get rid of the mentality of being perfect because nobody is. It's better to make progress than to work on this perfection train because it's not realistic. It will never happen. So it's better to show up and do something than nothing at all. That's going to move the needle. Drop the comparison. The only person that you should be comparing yourself is to you. How are you now versus what you were a week ago, a month ago, a year ago? And then give it time. Rome wasn't made in a day. It takes a lot of time, in order to really be where I'm at now. Took several years. And I still don't see the full picture right away. So I'm still chiseling. You won't see the full picture right away. So give yourself time and don't give up.
All right. No, thank you for that.
All right. There.
All right, Jordan, you got to follow all of that up right now, Jordan. You got to follow everything everybody just said.
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, why don't I just hang it up now? I mean, everyone said it. Such good things there. I like what Coach said about, you just got to start, start somewhere. It's going to take time for you to figure out what you like to do. Once you figure out what you like to do, set some achievements for yourself. So small goals, find what motivates you and then go after it. That's the main thing. Because if you find what motivates you, you're going to be disciplined with it. You're going to want to do it. You got to want to do it. But originally, when you start, you just got to get in and put the time in and check that box off. Kind of what JJ said, like just get in there and show up, find what works for you. You don't have to do bodybuilding training. You don't got to be a powerlifter. You can do whatever motivates you. It's going to make you healthier. Find it, do it. And you'll see success over time. You will.
Absolutely. And those are all great points to end the show on. So thank you for everybody that tuned in to listen to the show. And thank you to all of our guests, Jason, Shawn, JJ, Byron, Jordan, Nicole, and Josh, who was on earlier. I hope everybody found this to be very informing. You heard from people who live all types of different lifestyles, whether you're a spouse, a parent, a dog parent, whatever it may be, busy with work and life comes in the way, but you got to find reasons to want to get healthy, and you got to find that within yourself. And I think everybody made great points of that. So this is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. As always, if you like the show, be a friend and tell a friend. And if you didn't, tell them anyways, because I bet they like it just because you didn't. This is Fiddy signing off, and we will see you next week.
The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by W Energy. Energy drinks made for gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. For gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. Go to the link in the description where you can find the best energy drinks out there. Less caffeine than a cup of coffee. Also, no jitters and no crash afterwards. Use the promo code Mike Bono and get yourself 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my favorite sponsor of the show, and that is Shankit Golf. Golf apparel made for the everyday golfer. We might not go out and shoot a 6 under par. We're probably going to shoot a 6 over par, but this is going to give us the gear that's going to help us rock it on and off of the course. Go to the link in the bio, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get yourself 10% off there as well.